The following is an exclusive presentation of the Carolina Panthers and the National Football League. This week on the Panthers Huddle, Coach Dave Canales looks back at a tough game in Philly and previews this Sunday's showdown with the Dallas Cowboys. Plus, step inside TD's film room as the Panthers legend breaks down the progress he sees in Bryce Young. Welcome inside the Panthers Huddle.
Welcome inside the Panthers Huddle. Kristen Balboni here with Panthers legend Thomas David. TD, we have got a lot to get to, a lot of storylines that came out of this last game with the Eagles, but I want to start with a tough storyline, and that was Jonathan Brooks re-tearing that same ACL in the right leg in that game. And I know that you are especially placed to be able to talk through this with your ACL injuries and to give him some advice. So what did you see there?
You know, it was heartbreaking, knowing the amount of effort, energy, and blood, sweat, and tears that you literally have to put in to come back from an ACL injury, and to see him go out, have that opportunity, take that ball, take the handoff, and go down immediately. And for me, sitting there watching it, I knew exactly what had happened. For those of you that have never experienced it, once it happens, you cannot mistake that feeling for anything else. I talked to him yesterday. He's in really good spirits, just trying to offer up as much information and knowledge that I can about the situation. And, it was encouraging to talk to him and hear him in good spirits. I know it's extremely tough to deal with that one time, but when you go through it again, in particular on the same knee, it's never going to be an easy situation. But there are a lot of things that I learned over the course of my rehab process that absolutely helped me continue to go the rest of my career without re-injuring mine. So that's what it's all about in this moment right now, because this is the why me phase of it.
Sure.
You go through a phase of, why is this happening to me? What did I do? What did I do wrong? And I just let them know, it wasn't anything that you did wrong. Sometimes the body just does some things that we have no control over. But we can do things in the interim to make sure that it doesn't happen again. So I'm giving him all of those things I just talked about to make sure that he's not in this situation again.
Well, I'm sure he will attack it the same way he attacked getting prepared to play. And certainly you are a huge resource and inspiration with what you had been through with 3 ACLs and then coming back to play at the level that you did. I know certainly that a lot of NFL players look to you as that mark of, hey, this is possible, and I'm going to look forward to all that's to come. So I think that's amazing that you are mentoring him there. Let's talk a little defense. Let's talk about the pass rush. The Panthers have the most sacks in the league over the last 3 games, and they played 3 very good teams. TD, 13 sacks in that time. What do you attribute that to?
I think it's a huge part of the scheme. I think it's guys getting back fresh, like DJ Wanham, Amari Bono, getting those guys back. So allowing everybody up front to be fresh. Jadeveon Clowney coming back. We missed him this last game. But what you can also attribute to it is the success of the offense. When the offense sustains drives, that gives the defense an opportunity to get rest. Once you're able to get rest, you're sitting over there fresh, you have a different energy. There's a different source of power that you have as a defender once you've had the opportunity to rest. If the offense is going 3 and out, that makes it tough on you defensively to be able to go out and muster up the energy to get after the quarterback. But these guys have had the opportunity to sit on the sideline a little more, and now they're pinning their ears back on 3rd down and coming away with some very, very crucial sacks.
Absolutely, and so it is interesting because the numbers absolutely back you up. Fewest plays per drive in the league before the bye, and now I think we're 8th in the league. What is it about the bye? I mean, now look, I know a lot of things have changed. Guys have gotten healthy. Bryce has really come into his own, but why specifically after the bye, do you think?
I think a huge part of it, the bye allows you to go back and really reflect on the things that you've done in the first half of the season. You get to go back and correct a lot of things that you've done wrong. And I think that our coaching staff has done a phenomenal job of correcting a lot of areas of things that we needed to fix. Are we perfect? Not at all. But have we gotten better? We absolutely have. And I think that's a true testament to them making some adjustments, to players understanding what their roles needed to be, and guys just really stepping up and understanding that the time is now. And I just feel like the momentum that we're developing and that we're building as an organization, as a football team, we're going to end up exactly where we want to be very, very soon in the near future.
Speaking of momentum, the Panthers certainly have a good opportunity to take that next step against the Cowboys this week. We're going to listen now to what the players had to say about taking on Dallas.
Definitely that D-line, you know what I'm saying? Guys like Micah Parsons, everybody know what he does. So just not letting him be a game wrecker like he's done previous times. And just trying to be the best version of ourselves, you know what I'm saying? Go out there and just execute the game plan and hopefully come out with a dub.
They got a good running back. They got a decent offensive line. Obviously, Cooper Rush is playing good, so we got to be ready for the pass attack. But like I say every week, if we come ready to play, you know what I'm saying, each and every week, then I feel like we're a hard team to deal with. But obviously, we respect those guys. They're going to come in here playing hard, but we'll be ready to go too.
How's it feel to be favored in the game? First time in 33 games the Panthers have been favored.
It doesn't mean anything for Sunday. The score is going to start 0-0. We have to do everything we can throughout the week, put ourselves in the best situation to execute. We have a ton of respect for them. Really good team, really good players, play well. So we have to be at our best. That doesn't mean anything.
Coming up, Coach Canales is here to look back at a tough road game and previews our Week 15 clash with the Cowboys on the Panthers Huddle. This exclusive presentation of the Carolina Panthers Television Network is brought to you in part by Bank of America, the official bank of the Carolina Panthers.
Welcome back. We are joined now, as always, by head coach Dave Canales. Coach, another thrilling one against the Eagles, but I know you preach finishing to this team. So where does this game kind of stack up with the two games before this, and what's your message to the team?
You know, it's a lot of the same. It's a lot of progress in a bunch of areas and things that we're working on, things that we're collectively trying to grow. But it's about the finish, and it's the same message, and it's the same challenge to us as a group, collectively. And we had another opportunity. Defense stopped them, got us the ball back. We're 97 yards away, some unbelievable plays throughout the process, and then had opportunities, and we're knocking on the door. And we have to find a way to finish, to find our best. And that's been the goal the whole time, is can we find our best version of us, our best football, and it's still out there for us.
Coach, just talk to us a little bit more about Bryce and his confidence level right now. And for him to be in that situation, to be on the 2-yard line, having to go the whole field to try to come away with a game-winning drive, what is it about Bryce Young right now that allows him in these moments to be able to put those drives together in these fourth quarter situations?
Yeah, I mean, it just speaks directly to his character and the way that he's built. He's built to handle these high pressure situations. He's been playing in them his whole life, and so he's comfortable there. The progress and all that stuff is coming from just ownership of our system. He's grasping it, he's growing, he's using tools, he's learning his guys. How do I throw to this receiver versus this tight end, So he's getting that good me to you factor, that chemistry. And he's having fun. He's having fun just competing, and just trying to find a way to win. And one of the things I say is there's a win on every play, and he's finding what that win looks like. Sometimes it's a throwaway, in field goal range. Sometimes you got to go for it and break a tackle, on Josh Sweat there at the end. He broke a tackle, got out, and had a 31-yard gain from our own end zone, So he's just making the most of his opportunities and just competing.
You talked about him owning the system. In this game, what play do you think was like the perfect marriage of him and then also your system that you go, that's the play that we want to highlight, that's the play that we want to see?
It was the throw to Xavier, and unfortunately he didn't come up with the catch, but it was his evaluation of the shell, the coverage, all the things, the protection, getting everybody sorted and situated the right way, and then striking him dead, pushing up in the pocket and throwing and delivering a really great ball there. So I think, it's the culmination of capturing those moments within the game, because the thing that I always like to tell quarterbacks is I don't need you to be special all day. I just need you to be special that 3 to 5 times that it calls for it. When they give us the right look and you're able to just knock them out, knock them dead. And so he's been able to see those things happen, over the course of the last 5 weeks and take advantage of those opportunities.
I want to ask you about Jonathan Brooks. So first, before I ask you about the running back situation, I just want to acknowledge what he went through and how tough that is. I know TD has talked to him. TD is certainly someone that knows what it takes to come back from ACL injuries, multiple, and play at this high level. But I'm just wondering, what the conversation with you was, and how has this team really come together for him?
Yeah, just heartbroken for the guy. You know, the hard work that goes into it. TD knows firsthand, you know, the grind that is. It's like you have to shift your competitive nature and mind to a different challenge, you know? And so it's like, all right, well, this is what I'm attacking now. And JB knows how to do that now. But just getting him back on the field, seeing him make a few plays 2 weeks ago, watching his energy, watching his confidence start to grow. He's like, here he comes. You know, he's starting to like get comfortable and start to like, you know, fill himself out right there. And then to lose him in that game, you know, just a few weeks after getting him back out there on the field was just really heartbreaking.
When you go through this initial phase and the initial diagnosis of, yeah, you torn it again, it's always that why me moment, like why is this happening, you know? And that's when you need guys to be around you and for you to lean on more. And I told him I'll be there with him every step of the way, man. Whenever he has a question, it doesn't matter if it's 11 a.m. or if it's at 11 p.m., I'll be there for you. So, and I think that reassurance has absolutely helped him out. But just being able to see what he was able to do while he was back on the field, man, it was truly a special moment for all of us.
Now, as we look ahead to the Cowboys, Mike Zimmer, you have had some familiarity with him, I believe, when he was with the Vikings.
Yeah.
You were with the Seahawks. What can you tell us about the way in which he runs a defense?
Yeah, we played them a lot. And it's a great system. It's a great defensive system. The safeties are involved. The corners are involved also. And so it really takes a unit that works well together. And for the last 4 weeks, I've seen them just get more and more dangerous in the processes and the systems of what like by the time, you know, he was in his third, fourth year in Minnesota, that group, man, they could do anything from any look. And I can see the package starting to grow. So that's something that we have to take account for. And I got to blow some dust off of some old notes about, you know, the double A gap, you know, defense that they like to run in past situations.
Dallas is a team that has really been plagued by a lot of injuries, in particular defensively. And, you know, watching the game, they lost Overshawn. We don't know for how long or what the extent of that injury is, but one guy that's back in that lineup that's making a ton of plays and a ton of noise is Micah Parsons. What's the game plan for Micah Parsons? What do we have to do for a guy like him that brings so much energy, so much excitement, and so much effort every single play that he's on the field?
Yeah, we got to be aware of him at all times. And, you know, right now it looks like he plays on the right side. I know in their past, he's been left, right. He goes into the three. He plays off the ball as a stack backer and moves around in different spots with DQ in that system. So my curiosity is like, are they going to try to move him around this week? And we just got to be ready and aware of it, you know, and make sure we're accounting another person over there, you know, being mindful of when and where to take our shots down the field, knowing he's rushing. Do you run at him or do you run away from him? You know, so he's a really special athlete, somebody that we certainly are aware of.
Coach, it's been great to talk to you. Certainly looking forward to this game against the Cowboys right here at home. Thank you so much, as always.
Thank you, guys.
Up next, Thomas Davis analyzes some of the improvements he's seeing this season from our second-year quarterback on the Panthers Huddle. Closed captioning for the Panthers Television Network is provided by Charlotte Eye, Ear, Nose, and Throat Associates, providing premier eye and ENT care to North and South Carolina.
All right, it is time now for one of my favorite parts of the week, and that is TD's Film Room. So TD, we are talking about one guy and one guy only today, Bryce Young. And you have noticed while watching his film some big differences from the first 2 games of the season to now that he is back as the starter. And one of the first things you said to us is that, hey, he's a different quarterback under pressure right now.
Right. It's confidence and decision-making, KB. That's the difference in Bryce Young's maturation process and where he was at the beginning of the season and where he is right now. Because as we watch this play, one of the things that a quarterback's job is to identify the guys that could potentially be rushing. And as you look at Bryce, if you watch him the whole way on this play, he never looks at Taylor right here. He never puts his eyes on him. He never see him or identify him as a threat to rush the quarterback. And that's why he was able to come away with an easy sack on this play. That was one of the plays that really showed me that Bryce wasn't identifying guys. He wasn't sliding the protection the way that it needed to be. That's the difference in where he was then and where he is now. As we watch this play right here, we're going to let this one roll. You can see that this is a crucial situation for Bryce Young. He is one of those guys that always has the ability to improvise, pulling the ball down and making a dart. We're going to take it to this other angle. We're going to show you the end zone angle on this play. As you watch this play, we know that the Philadelphia Eagles have a great front seven. They have guys all across the board that can get after the quarterback. The offensive line is doing a tremendous job. If you look at this as a quarterback, you always want to see a pocket that's like this. These guys are protecting Bryce Young, but we need more time for the play to develop down the field. We got to let our receivers get open. So Bryce has to improvise. Everybody talks about Bryce's stature and how small he is. Sweat is a big guy. And look at Bryce rip away from this potential sack. And look at this dart. Just look at this, his ability. Like for him to be under pressure, on the move, with a potential guy in front of him to intercept this pass and still be able to put this ball right on Xavier. As a quarterback, you cannot put this ball placement any better than Bryce was able to do right here. And that really shows the maturation process that Bryce Young has gone through in the beginning of the season to where he is right now.
Yeah, that's an incredible play. I love seeing you break that down. But you got some more plays for us because, as you said, his decision-making has really, really changed as his confidence has grown.
Yes. As we watch this play, this is 3rd and I think a mile. So now he's trying to let the routes develop downfield. As the play breaks down, Bryce should, in this particular play, as you look, this guy is covered, this guy is covered, this guy is covered. He can either throw the check down or he should pull this ball down, run, or even take a sack. Because in certain instances, a sack is not the worst thing that could happen. But what does Bryce do? He throws the ball up for grabs, and it's almost like he was throwing a punt to them. But, you can't just give away interceptions like that. And that's one of the areas I feel like Bryce Young has absolutely grown as a football player because, KB, we have a play where Bryce Young does exactly what we think that he should do on this, right?
He's going to scramble a little bit, right? He's going to put the ball down and run.
This is what Bryce should have done. You're in the pocket, he breaks down, pull the ball down, pick up extra yardage. It doesn't have to be 10, 15, 20 yards every time, but if you pick up positive yardage, that's good for your football team. They put you in position for short yardage situations, or on this play in particular, he picked up the first down. And that right there shows me that this kid has absolutely learned. He's absolutely growing, and we are in a great place with Bryce Young as the leader of our football team because this kid understands and knows. He knew that he had to get better, KB, and he's absolutely done that.
And he's getting better, it seems like, from watching this film in all facets of his game. It has been great to watch.
Every single area of his game has improved from the start of the season to where we are right now.
All right, well said, TD. Thank you so much.
When we return, Kristen and TD close the show by shining a spotlight on some guys living up to the keep pounding mentality on the Panthers Huddle.
Welcome back. Okay, TD, we have been talking all show long about this Panthers team, about this matchup with the Cowboys. And did you know this is the first time in quite a while that the Panthers have been favored in a game? So there's some more expectations on this team. How should this team feel going into this one?
It's a true testament to the way that this football team has played since we've come back from the bye week, KB. And I just feel like the momentum is starting to shift for us as an organization, for us as a football team. These guys have to understand you got to go out and you got to play and you have to compete for 4 quarters in order to get the job done, especially now that people are starting to take note.
Okay, well, that leads us perfectly into our Coke Spotlight. So who are you spotlighting this week that you want to see show up against the Cowboys?
KB, in NFL, in life, in everything, Father Time catches up with all of us. But my Coke Spotlight is Adam Thielen. He's a guy that seems to escape Father Time. He doesn't seem like he's slowing down. Play in and play out. If you're looking for a big play, you got to find Adam Thielen. He's been Mr. Reliable, Mr. Dependable. Ever since he's come back from the injury, Adam Thielen has been the man, and we have to figure out a way to get this guy more touches, if that's even possible, because he is so reliable in big situations, in regular possessions. Adam Thielen shows up for us time and time again. So my spotlight, without a doubt, is Mr. Big Play, Adam Thielen.
Well, it's funny you should mention that because that kind of goes with my spotlight, which is they're going for it on fourth down. They're making some gutsy fourth down calls, and Adam Thielen gets us those fourth downs sometimes. So, last week they were 3 for 5 on fourth down in some big spots. So one was for a touchdown. That was the Tommy Tremble one. One was on the way to a touchdown, which was Adam Thielen was on the receiving end of that one. And then one was on that final drive, And so we're seeing it. And Dave Canales says, hey, I'm going to take whatever advantage I can. We are going to go for it to try to scratch and claw and win these games. So, TD, I want to see a little bit more of that this week.
Absolutely. I agree. I love the aggressiveness from the head coach in particular on fourth down, like you talked about, KB, because what it says to me as a defensive player is my coach has faith in me. It doesn't matter. And Ron Rivera used to do this a lot. That's why they started calling him Riverboat Run, because he had faith in our defense. Regardless of what the offense did, obviously, if you have a quarterback that's 6'5", 270 pounds, and Cam will argue that, but if you have a quarterback that's big and you have a short yardage situation, you're more in tune to go for it anyway. But when you have a defense that plays consistently and sound the way that we were able to, you have faith that no matter where you go for it on the field, my defense is going to save me and they're going to give us the opportunity to get the ball back to the offense. So it just says that, hey, he's being aggressive, but he's starting to develop more confidence in this defense as well.
Well, this is going to be a good one here at Bank of America Stadium on Sunday, but that is going to do it for us this week. Thank you all so much for watching. TD, until next time,
keep pounding.
You've been watching the Panthers Huddle, a copyrighted presentation of the Carolina Panthers and the NFL.